Hey guys, okay, so we are moving on to day 16, and today we're going to talk about the basics of coach placement. So this gets a little confusing for some coaches, but I'm going to try and explain it the best that I can, and it's not always going to make sense right at the beginning. So if you're confused after this video, that's okay. We're going to talk more about it as you and I have one-on-one calls after Rock the Basics. As you start building your team, we're going to continue to talk about that stuff. And anytime that you have questions on this placement, or anytime you're signing up a new coach and you need to know where to place your new coach in your downline, you can always come to me for placement questions. Okay? So we have what's called a binary system. A binary comp plan, which means that you're here at the top, like this is you, this little point is you, this little point, this circle is you, and then you have two legs. You have a leg here, and then you have a leg here. So you have a right and a left leg, right? You have a right and a left leg. And this is you right in the middle, this little circle. So you have a right and a left leg. So what I'm going to show you, sorry, that doesn't really make any sense, me showing you that way. So I'm going to just screen share and show you guys in my Coach Online office. So let me pull up my Coach Online office, if I can find it. Okay, there we are. Oh, I just closed it down. Hold on, let me pull it up. Okay, Coach Online office. So here's your Coach Online office, and in order to see your graphical downline, you go to My Business, My Downline, Graphical Genealogy. Okay, so here you are. So here I am. This is actually my second business center. Excuse me. Which, as you continue to grow your business, you'll start to understand what a second business center is. But you don't need to worry about it right now. But basically, I sponsored myself again as a coach. You can hit a certain rank to be able to do that. So here's my second business center. And you'll see I have two legs. I have a right leg here, and I have a left leg. So I can only put one coach directly underneath me at a time. Once I fill in that coach, I immediately have to add a coach under somebody else. Okay, so these little coaches that have a PS on top of them, that means that those are my personally sponsored coaches on this business center. Okay, but you can see many of the coaches here do not have PS. So these were my first two coaches that I signed up on my second business center, and they were directly underneath me. But my next one that I signed up was Jen right here, and she is my PS, but she's not directly underneath me. She is a little further down in my downline. So when I'm adding new people to my second CBC, I want to make sure that my placement is set right. So what I do is I figure out what leg I need to put a coach on. And I do that based on volume and based on rank, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But once you figure out what side you want to put them on, you want to always click this button, go to bottom left. So if I'm going to put a coach on my left, I go to bottom left. Okay, and as you can see, a lot of you guys who are in this class now, directly after I'm making these videos, are here on this leg. So you guys are all in each other's downline. That's the great thing about binary system. So my next coach is going to go here because this is red. Do you see how this is your red guy? So you always want to place your red guy where you want your next coach. When you have a place that's red, this is an open spot. When an open spot is red, that means when you sign your next coach, that is where that coach is going. Okay, I can click back to go to top and say I want to place my next coach on my right leg. I would click go to bottom right, and I would click here. I would click that person, that open spot, and then that turns red. Okay, makes sense? So how do we know where to put a coach on which leg? I'm going to cancel the screen share here. So how do we know what leg to put a coach on? Well, as you guys learned in the Emerald video, on Emerald you need one coach on each leg. So when you sign up your first coach, you're going to put your coach on one leg, and then your next coach is going to go on the other. Okay, so what's going to happen is when you sign up your spouse, if you decide that signing up your spouse or significant other is something that you want to do, and I highly recommend that you do that, that person, that spouse or significant other is going to go on your weak leg. Okay, and your weak leg is the leg that doesn't have anybody else showing up in your graphical downline. So for a lot of you, that's most likely going to be, it's going to be different for everybody, left or right. Okay, so, and I can help you figure out where to place your spouse. So I want you to always come to me, especially in the beginning when you're signing up a new coach, and say, hey, Sarah, or go to your upline and say, hey, where do I need to place this coach? What's the best strategy for me? Okay, so your spouse is always going to go on your weak leg. So remember that. Spouse should always go on your weak leg. Your other coach, your second coach, will go on the other leg all the way at the bottom. So we always want to click go to bottom right or go to bottom left. Okay, and we're going to place the coach on the very bottom-most point on the outside. Okay, we never want to place a coach on an inside. And there's many reasons for that, and I'm not going to get into that now, but just know that when you're placing coaches, if you keep the coach on the very outside of your downline, you're always going to be placing them in the right spot. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say, you know, place them on the outside. When you click on go to bottom right or go to bottom left, you always want it on the very outside spot that's open. Okay, and like I said, ultimately ask me where we should put them, and what I'm going to say is I'm going to say, okay, I want you to do this, this, and this, and put your red guy here. And then I'm going to ask you, send me a picture of your red guy. So you're going to take your phone, and if it's on your phone, you're going to take a screenshot on your phone, or you're going to take a picture on the camera, and you're going to send me where your red guy is, because I want to see where your red guy is. Remember, wherever your red guy is where your next coach is going to sign up. So before you sign up a coach, we need to make sure the red guy is in the right spot, okay? If for whatever reason the red guy is not in the right spot and you have a coach sign up, you didn't necessarily know about it, they just went and signed up, that happens sometimes, we have 72 hours to change the placement of a coach. Once that 72 hours has passed, they don't accept those changes. So we need to make sure that when you sign up a new coach, it's right. So even if a coach is signed up and you forgot to ask me where to put placement, that's okay. Let's talk about it. Send me a note and say, hey, can you check on my placement of my new coach? Is it right? And we'll make the adjustment if we need to. Okay, so your assignments for today are to watch another video on placement by a top coach named Doug Fitzgerald. I totally respect and love what he does in his training, so I want you guys to watch that video by him. And then I also want you to ask any questions that you have about placement. I know it's a lot, I know it's confusing, so I'll try to answer them as best I can. Post your questions here and we can definitely help each other. Okay? Have a great day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.